Hey everybody, so welcome back with Shelle and Kiz.
Hello.
So last week we decided to do a couples roundtable where we invited a engaged couple and a married couple along with us, a new couple, onto the roundtable, and Kevin asked everybody questions from their perspective of where they are in a relationship. So hope you enjoyed. There will be two parts to this. So here comes part one. Bye.
Thank y'all for joining me and Lachelle. Basically it's gonna be me asking questions. Whoever wants to start, y'all can just start talking, and we just basically vibe off of that. Not no game, not no questionnaire, nothing like that. Just ask a question, and whoever wants to speak, y'all just talk. So me and Lachelle, we're in the relationship couple. Montrese and Alicia, raise your hand. They're engaged. They were supposed to be married on June 12th, but Corona wasn't having it. And Paul and Audrey have been married for
Don't get it wrong.
4 years in November. Yes, sir. 4 years in November. Appreciate the lookout, Paul. All right. So,
hi, Uncle Kevin.
What's up, Austin?
No,
This is my turn.
it's not your turn. Okay, hold on. Let me turn his show on real quick. Come on. Let me go turn.
So I guess we'll start here with us. The first question is just, how long have y'all been together? Me and Lachelle have actually 10 months. Mm-hmm. It's actually been 10 months. What was that? July 28th? Mm-hmm. I mean, not July 28th. No, the 28th. May 28th was 10 months for us. What about you, Teresa and Alicia? Y'all even know?
Go ahead.
No, because you know everything.
Since you know everything.
No, he don't know. Say the wrong answer. Don't be trying to count. Uh-oh.
You better get
Why does it matter though?
Paul, my
question.
Don't act like that, because we celebrate anniversary in August and November.
7 years.
7 years?
Yeah.
How about that?
Yes.
That's solid. What about you, Paul and Audrey?
You bet. What's the question?
How long have y'all been together? Not just married, but been together.
We've been together since October of 2013.
Okay. Dates. I feel you.
Whatever she say.
Yeah, I feel that. All right. So, anybody want to say how you guys met?
I hated Paul when I first met him. I did. No, he'll tell you. I did not like him at all. We worked together at a bar.
Okay.
I lied the first time I met her.
Just rude. But he thought only because they were talking bad about me.
It was some other people that introduced her, well, before she had got there, and they were saying, well, she's this and she's that and she's this. So when I finally got a chance to meet her, I figured, well, I don't want to meet that person. So I said my name was Mike.
First of all, okay, can I tell y'all just real quick, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
That bold you a little bit?
Go ahead.
All right, so okay. So he was the RD, okay? Mm-hmm. Residential director. I'm an RA. We got to move on campus early, blah, blah, blah. I'm at home in Illinois. He in Jeff City, Missouri. That's 2 hours away. He was new. And I was getting my car and I was getting ready to go somewhere. It was the day before I was supposed to have been going off to go back to school. So I get this call. And I usually don't answer numbers that I don't know, but I probably was feeling generous that day. So I answered the call. He like, yeah, this is Mr. O'Neill. I'm the RD. I see that you're my residential advisor, And I just want to, call and introduce myself. Boom, boom, boom. And I go, okay, that's kind of nice. So at this point, my auntie in the car with me, and I met my auntie, we friends, like, go back, 4 flats, Cadillac, right? And she talking, boom, boom. And then I was like, well, I got, some concerns because they taking out the micro fridges. And I think that that's rude because we coming from out of state and we ain't going to be able to.
She couldn't cook. That was the only problem she mad.
You ain't got to tell it all. You ain't got to tell it all. That's neither here nor there. So I was a little bit upset about that because I'm just like, what are we supposed to do? So he was like, well, I can see what I can do. Boom, boom. Just so calm, mellow, yellow. So I'm like, okay, we get off the phone. It's like, who is that? I was like, girl, that was just my new RD. But she was like, I ain't never known nobody to call nobody. I was like, you think so? She's like, girl, he might like you. I said, girl, he don't even know me. Boom, boom. Long story short, I drives up to, before I got the phone with him, I was like, well, I'm going by myself. I'm going to need somebody to help me unload my car. He was like, okay, well, I help you unload your car. Boom, boom. Next day, I get on the road. I go to Jeff City. I'm already irritated. Too tight. No, it wasn't a sew-in. It was my regular hair. I had a flat. And I think I may have, I was having a bad day, okay? And I couldn't get in, so I got to ring the doorbell. They got to let me in. So I'm already peeved at this point. This man comes, open the door. I had never seen it in my life. And I looked up at him, and I was like, are you in the band? And he looked at me, and he was like, I thought he was a gig, yeah. No. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I just sashayed on down the hall to go get my room key. So they, the other RAs who was talking ill about me was in there, but they ain't gonna say nothing to you. So long story short, I get my key. I go up to my room because I asked about it. I said, well, is this Mr. O'Neal here? That's like, nah, he not here. He just live boom, boom. So I'm like, oh, okay. So now I'm pissed off. I'd probably been in traffic. I'm hearing this man say he gonna help me move. I get to my room. I'm checking in, everything. I'm in there by myself. My phone rang. He calling me. He's like, yeah, this is Mr. O'Neal. I said, I just want to let you know that I think it's very rude for me to tell you that I'm moving up here by myself, and you said you was going to help me. You're nowhere to be found. 2 minutes later, knocking on my door. Opens the door. The band dude standing right there. I'm like, can I help you? I'm Mr. O'Neal. I'm like, shit. But from then, like, he finally realized I wasn't who they said that I was. Oh, I take a sip on that disrespect. So that's how we were introduced.
All right.
I was
there. Anything to add to that, Trish?
She was rude to me the first time we met, and I was still nice, and still to this day, as you can see, she's rude to me. And I'm nice and as mellow as could be.
Now, Kevin, no, that's a lie.
Don't feel bad. I was so rude to Paul.
Still is. Still is.
That's not true. I miss you, baby.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I miss you too, baby.
I think for us, you want to?
No, you go ahead first.
For us, I think it was we met. Paul was actually with me when we first met. Me and Paul went to a party called Players Made, and we was out there, and I saw something she had posted on Facebook, and
he was creeping.
I was just a little. And she seemed a little down, so I invited her out to, I was gonna pay for a couple shots or a couple drinks, whichever one she wanted. Just being a nice gentleman, because I don't want nobody being sad. So she took me up on the invite. We talked. She got to meet some of my family members. Her and Paul saw each other. They knew each other before I knew her.
So it was like, I don't even know how far before this, he had posted a picture where he was at Paul and Audrey's house drinking. And I was like, hey, I know them because I worked with Paul and Audrey previously in catering. And so he was like, you do? And he was like, I'm their son's godfather or whatever. And I was like, oh, it's a small world. So then when we went out, I didn't know Paul was going to be there. And I get in there, and that first person I seen was Paul. So I'm like, oh, he was like, what you doing here? And I look over, I'm like, here to see Kevin. But I know where Kevin was. I had never met Kevin before. So I'm looking for Kevin like, okay. And so then he was at the bar, but it was cool. But that first night, I didn't think nothing of it. Like, I didn't know I just thought we were going to be cool.
He already knew.
He knew. I just thought we was going to be friends.
I was like,
smooth ass Kevin.
I'm shooting my shot.
Twist.
Steph Curry with the shot. All right.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
Right.
All right. So, next question. What was your first date like?
Let me tell you about my first date. No, ain't no shush, nothing. No, yes. Yeah. So Paul's like, let's go to Wild Wing Cafe. I'm like, that's cool. Now, mind you, I'm a grown ass woman. We walking in the Wild Wing Cafe. He's like, oh, hold on. Before we go in there, let me have a little talk with you. About what? He talking about, yeah, well, you know, I'm from Charlotte, so you know, if I see some girls in here, did I know? I said, okay, bitches do get smacked in Charlotte. You know that, right? So I was like, I'm a grown ass woman. You do not need to have no pep talk with me before we go into a restaurant, because regardless of whether you have this pep talk or not, if a bitch try me, she gonna get slapped. Period. Look, he know I'm telling the truth. Look at her.
Well, kinda. So, okay, listen. First of all, I didn't say like specifically females. I said I'm born and raised here. I know a lot of people, so you know I don't want you to be offended. You know, if someone comes up or you know speaks or whatever.
That's not what you said.
Now, mind you,
too much. You don't remember.
Listen, after I had this conversation, obviously it was necessary because every single place we went after this day that I knew somebody, she made it a point to say, hey, can we go somewhere without you knowing somebody?
No, not in Charlotte.
Right, and that's fine. But don't lie and act like you didn't try to have no damn pep talk with me before we went into the restaurant. Like, don't
you needed to know that though.
I need to know
That's
what?
important.
It don't matter pep talk, no pep talk. If a bitch try me, she's gonna get slapped. Period.
But I was just trying to prepare you because like it didn't have to go to that. You know, I just know a lot of people. I just wanted you to know I knew a lot of people. It wasn't about you know.
First of all, let's back up a little bit since you want to say that's what you're not talking about. Okay. So how was you living your life before me and you got together?
Living my best life.
Right. That part.
Audrey, he's living his best.
That's what you're doing?
Okay.
Oh, you frozen? You frozen?
Hello.
Oh, you frozen.
Hey, I need to be right now.
Right.
I plead the fifth.
Yeah, I'm gonna drink to that too with your little lying self.
So.
Because why would I be offended by any man coming up and having a conversation with you? So you don't even make sense. I don't hear nothing.
Frozen.
I don't hear nothing.
I'm frozen.
Right, that part.
So, please don't release it.
So I don't know exactly the first date, but I can tell you the first outing that I had with her. I was taking my RAs to Walmart, but the other ones had opted out. So it was me and Arlicia. So at this time I was like, okay, I got her alone. I could probably see, how she doing, where she from, ask some questions like that. So we go to Walmart and I realized like, man, I don't know how this is gonna go. So we get in Walmart and she tells me to get the cart. I'm like, I don't even push the cart for my mama. So I don't like, well, I gotta get the cart. And I find
on the play.
I'm gonna show you. She turns around and give me this look like, come on, nigga. And I'm like, I'm not your man. Like, I don't have to walk with you.
You make me sound like
no, stop. So I'm like, we get to Walmart. You can go get your stuff. I got some stuff I need to get. I figured she was gonna ride with me. So here, you go get what you get. I get what I get. We meet back up. But the whole time she wanted to walk around and she wanted to show me off, to be on her shoulder. So I get it. Why she wanted to show me off. I get it. So I walked with her and just throughout that time, walked through Walmart.
You frozen.
completely.
So really, our first time we just actually we was alone in Walmart and we just walked around and we picked up a lot of junk food.
It ain't shit to do in Jeff City but go to Applebee's.
And where?
Applebee's.
In Jefferson City.
Yes.
Tennessee?
No, Jeff City, Missouri.
Oh, yeah.
But I will tell you this, for somebody who thought so, like, whatever of me, he stayed in my room after hours. And he went, yes, baby, after hours, this little old student.
This might not need to be on YouTube.
But he'll try to be a counselor type stuff because I am a sucker for love. I'm a Cancer. I just love love. And I just know what I want in a man, So I was reading this book. And in fact, I remember this book. I don't know if I still got it, but I got my sisters, my auntie, I got everybody this book in the stocking. It is called All the Rules, Time-Tested Secrets for Capturing the Heart of Mr. Right. And it wasn't like the little Steve Harvey little thing. That was a joke. But this was like a good book, right? So I was reading this and he used to come in my room. We used to just talk. And then he just like wanted to debate me about this book. And one of the things he didn't like was, and I was adamant about this. I was like, you shouldn't be with nobody for more than 2 years, because after 2 years, a man knows whether or not he want to be with you. After 2 years, he wasted your time. And he just wanted to go back and forth. But I'm just like, shit or get off the pot.
So I told her it's all about it's you can't just base it on one person relationship. Everybody's relationship is different. Some people take 7 years, 10, some people take 2 months. But I'm not gonna sit here and say my timeline is 2 years, because now you putting me up against somebody else where they're not in this relationship. It's not a threesome, it's mine and yours, and we feel the time is right.
And we got
That's
2
what
years that turn into 7.
Oh.
It's been 7 over 2 years. When the time was right.
Oh, hush.
Because some things happened along the way. I had to get financially stable.
And you still there, and you happy. So that's all that matters.
Oh, hush.
Thank you.
Okay.
It sounds good to me, Kevin. It sounded good to me.
Swish.
Steph Curry with the show. It's your turn.
What was the question?
First date.
Well, the first time we met was when we went to Lebowski's. Have y'all been to Lebowski's in Charlotte?
Mm-hmm.
I love their wings. So I was on my way home from dance, and he was like, "Did you eat?" And I'm like, "No, I'm about to get something to eat though." And he was like, "From where?" Now Kevin was already in the bed. Kevin's an old man, so he go to sleep early. So but I guess he wanted to get to know me. So he was like, I'll meet you out. I'll take you out to go get something to eat. So then I was like, all right, I want Lebowski's. So I'm like, still, I'm just thinking we about to be friends. So I'm like, but you want to go to Lebowski's? We'll go to Lebowski's. So went down to Lebowski's, but he didn't eat because he had already ate. So I'm looking like the greedy one, but I still ate.
So that was your original plan.
You still the greedy one.
But I didn't even think that he would pay, honestly, because I didn't see it as a date. I was like, oh, he's just keeping me company while I go get something to eat. So, but he paid for that night, and he had drinks or whatever. But that was like the first time we met up. But the actual first date, let me tell y'all, we went bowling. So me and Kevin was really still getting to know each other. And this was like the first day he actually asked me out on. And so I'm riding down, what is that, 45 or something? And so, you're going under the underpasses. So as soon as I'm on my way to go see him, a rock smashes through my window. So I'm like, oh, snap, glass hits me, shatters everywhere. So I have to pull off on the side of the road, but I text him like, a rock just hit my window. And his like response is so nonchalant. And I'm sitting there thinking like, oh, he think I'm lying. I know he think I'm trying to get off the date. So I was like, you know what, I should just go home. And I was like, no, I'm not going to go home. I'm going to ride through because I'm going to show him that this rock is through my
I'm going to show him.
I'm going to show him that this
You're going to see this rock.
You're going to see this rock. You're going to see I traveled down the highways and byways for this date.
So good. I'm English.
Just to prove something. So I got there, we went bowling, and I showed him where my window got smashed, and y'all know Kevin's response. Oh. That's it. Like, anybody else was like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Him.
So, we already went bowling, right? We've already had the whole bowling experience before she shows me her car. So obviously she's okay. There's no reason to be all dramatic, like, dang, what happened to your car? No, that's not me. I'm just like, dang, I'm
so you didn't take no pictures.
Huh?
You took no pictures.
I took pictures.
Yeah, she sent it to her dad.
Because I had to get the insurance to fix it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
but that's when I first had to learn Kevin's reactions was never going to be as dramatic as mine. Because I'm like, if he would have pulled up with a smash rock in his, I'm like, oh my goodness, and you still came? Him, oh.
I guess this is the balance because she's like the over the top excited. I'm just like,
Down here.
All right. So, it happened. It happened. It's
Coulda
life.
came and got you,
All
I
right,
wonder where that picture is.
moving on. All right, now we're getting a little bit into just the natural thinking of things. So anybody can respond. It's up to y'all. What do you think defines love?
I go.
All right.
I wasn't raised to be in love. I was raised with all boys, so I wasn't really like growing up like, oh gosh, I need to have the picket fence and white, and the white fence, and I need to have the house. I never was in that mentality. How I'm gonna tell you how I knew I was in love with my husband was when he's the first person that I ever met that I cannot picture my life without.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have that person who, if other men come in and out of your life and you're okay with that, but when you have that person who you can't even picture your life without, like if they left your life tomorrow, you wouldn't be able to breathe. That's love to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not, baby. I'm not going through this no more. So that's my mushy moment for the year.
This is recorded.
It's recorded,
so
Paul.
we're
You
good.
can play it over and over again.
We're gonna save it for you, bro. I think for me, I always felt like love is one of those things to where, like Audrey said, you can't live without that person. Because I mean, a lot of times people tell you, "I love you," and it's just a word. It's more of a it has to be a feeling and more like a mental state. It can't be just something I just say to you, because I can tell you I love you every night, but that don't mean I show you I love you every day. Because a lot of people can say it, but when you showing it to that person, whether it's something simple as making sure you say good morning or good night every day, those things, they add up because that person knows that you actually care for them. So love for me has always been actual action, not really just the words of what people say.
Mm-mm.
Can I piggyback on Kevin? I've been raised, grew up 2-family home, and they always say love is an action, boom, boom, boom. And I really had to be like, yeah, it actually is. And I see myself like being the one to overly compensate, because I feel like if I don't, then you wouldn't know. But it's crazy because we are polar opposites. But now I feel like we switched roles. Like at first, I wasn't the mushy type, want to hold hands, but now I am. But I guess for me, my love wasn't the, oh my God, come lay on my shoulder. It was just like, I'm with you, I'm down for you, I'm loyal, this, that, and the other. You should know that I love you. I had to get to the romance part. And a part of that was because I was young. And he's like 30 years older than me as well. But sorry, baby. But going back to the action, I really took up that okay, you got to know because I have to show it to you. But it goes beyond just my actions of what I'm doing, even though I'm a cook, because he'll make that painfully clear. But if I go to the store, I can't even go to the store without, okay, oh, I'm going to get this for him. I'm going to get this for him. Because for me, that's me showing my love through those actions. But now it's to the point where we done been together for 7 years, and I have never been the mushy type. But now I'm just like, I want you to hold me. And he we don't do that. And I'm just like, well, shit, because that used to be him. But I'm just But now I be like, we be walking. I'm like, let's hold hands. My hands gonna get sweaty. But once upon a time, he'd be the one want to do that because I'm not gonna speak for him, but he's more of the affectionate type. And I had to grow into that, but I'm more of an action. Don't be groping me. This is recorded. A recorded
affection.
A recorded line.
Affection.
But it is action for me. And then what I just say, when you feel like you can't, now I'm gonna tell you something. I read books, and that's only one man that I know I could live without. His name is Ethic. He's an Ashley Antoinette, the Ethic series, baby. But that's fictional, and he ain't gonna never be a real one. But him, he's mine. I feel like, is it bad that you feel like when you with somebody they belong to you? Like you're mine.
Oh no, my husband definitely belong to me.
Yes, not like a kid, but no, you mine. What you Excuse me? You definitely belong to me. I'm sorry. Come again?
Yeah. Come again?
My wine getting to me a little bit.
I would have to say, I mean, just from me growing up in my family, we don't say I love you to each other. Like it's just not an outward thing that we say to each other. And so when I had met Kevin and we went through the whole dating thing, there was things that I just wasn't doing. He'll always say, he pulls that out or whatever, but I didn't talk on the phone. I wouldn't video chat nobody. You text me all day. I don't care. I don't have to see you every day. We not hold, but see, and then me and him was not hand holders. But as we went through it, he required those things of me. He's like, no, you are gonna talk on the phone. You will video call me. And I'm like, oh.
Because I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be real honest. When y'all was over at my house and you put your feet up on the couch and he started rubbing your feet, I thought I was gonna fall out. I ain't never seen Kevin do nothing like that. I walked from the bathroom. I said, oh, Paul, what's going on?
Look at it.
Look at that. But Kevin, he used to be like, I don't hold hands. My hands get hot. My hands get sweaty. I don't hold hands. Now we sit on the couch and his hand randomly just comes over to mine. And I be sitting there looking like, and it's so funny. We used to take pictures like, oh, your hand is holding mine. What's going on?
Oh.
So he has definitely brought a mushier side out to me that shows his love. But I think I also pulled out different things because a lot of people are like, oh, he ain't never did that before, girl. Oh, I ain't never seen him talk like that.
I can vouch for that.
I tell you, they happy for you, baby.
I'm so happy.
I'm gonna say mine's for the wedding.
Oh.
No, we ain't doing vows.
I'm gonna talk about my love. I'm gonna save it for them.
I don't want to do vows because he like to talk. He long-winded.
Vows take a long time.
I'm gonna say my vows when I give my speech.
Kevin, you better have a good speech.
Man, it's gonna be out of this
Talk
world.
about me too.
Out of this world.
I'm so selfish.
It's gonna be magnificent.
Okay.
Nobody
else want to add their love part?
I think y'all covered it all.
When I eat that cookie, I thought I ate my cookie.
All right. Oh yeah. All right. So if it's one piece of advice you could give like to others about relationships, what would it be? Not just like of course Paul and Audrey are the married couple. They could probably help Teresa and Lisa. They can help us also. And then Teresa and Lisa, you could talk about the way you become to engage. And of course we could talk about the way we've come from dating all these crazy people to where we are now.
I would say one of the most important things is you have to accept that person how they are. Like just because you get married to them, their triggers and their traits and what they like to do, what makes them flip off and all that doesn't change when you get married. So you need to know going into a marriage that you have to accept that person 100% how they are in that day when you marry them, because 99.9% of the time they're not going to change. So you need to be ready to be with that person for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm. That's good advice.
Like that.
I would say keep everything ain't for everybody. So like as far as like the social media posts, even joys and successes, like Audrey and I, are going into year 2 on purchasing a house, and we never posted that on any social media. You know what I'm saying? If you know us, you'll pull up because you know where we stay. Aside from that, as far as people concerned, they don't know where we stay. They don't know what we're doing or how we moving. So that allows you guys to just focus on each other. And when you have that, respect for each other and you have that bond, then, can't nobody else get in the way. So
I like that.
Especially when you live in Charlotte and you know everybody.
Shots fired. For me, I'll say
you shot that between 2 states.
Hey.
Quick draw.
For me, I just say keeping the relationship everything in house. You know, it's not for, you know, best friends or the whatever. If you got a marriage counselor, that's totally different. But as in for friends, family, and things like that, when you decide to make big decisions on your relationship, I feel like it should come from the relationship and not influenced by other people. If you could decide to moving towards marriage and things like that, for us, we have to be on our own timeline. It's not going to be compared to if everybody from my family or her family is saying y'all should be married. Well, we probably should be, but unfortunately, this is our timeline. This is how we're going to make it, and this is our decision.
All right, I agree with that. And then I also agree with I'll say being intentional about how you feel and what you want from the other person. Like, you know, you can say something or you can feel something, but unless you really set out and say, this is what I want, these are the, you know, my intentions, but you got to bring those into fruition. Not being afraid to get outside help, whether, you know, it be from someone from the spiritual realm, like a pastor, a minister, or even someone professionally, because whereas you think, oh, yeah, we got a great relationship, we can talk about anything. Sometimes that can help bring, you know, conversations about to where you probably wouldn't feel as comfortable, you know, talking about it without being in the heat of the moment, you know, not being afraid to seek help, you know, not just when things are going bad, but just for your comfort level, you know, to say, okay, we can talk about anything. Like every Tuesday, we gonna go see Dr. Martin. I just like that name. You like that name, Martin? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, so just kind of being open with
it. Paul Martin Petway.
Know it all.
Chill.
Let him tell it. I know everything. You know, and I don't. And I, Kevin, you don't get to shake your head.
Oh,
all the time, beyond contrary belief, I don't know it all. And sometimes, like, he have to sit me down sometimes and be like, these are your flaws. But I also have to be receptive to that. Will it hurt? Absolutely. But if it's something that I'm doing that's hurting him and hurting us, then you got to be willing to make that change. Otherwise, it'll be detrimental.
The way I go about it, I say,
he done had enough. Don't give him another drink of wine.
You good? Anything?
Yes. You want me to go first?
Yes, ma'am.
Just coming from, you know, a lot of people say, oh, Shelle, you got a good man, but there was times where I had terrible situations. Kevin is my first boyfriend. Every other previous thing has definitely been situationships. Nobody has ever said, Shelle, would you be mine? All that thing. No, it was always an open type of situation. So I have had my share of dating where when I came with Kevin, I made sure everything was intentional with him. I made sure that whatever his needs and wants were put on the forefront. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't just all about me and that I knew what I was doing in this, because there was clearly things that I wasn't doing right and that I wasn't requiring out of other people that I should have to maybe get to that point. But with him, I made sure that I kept that communication line open. Whenever he don't like something, even to this day, I make sure that I'm receptive to it. And the same goes for both ways. I'm not afraid to tell him that hurt my feelings or I don't like that, because he's like, if I don't tell him, then he's going to keep doing it and he's not going to think nothing's wrong. So then when I flip off on him one day, he's going to be like, well, I've been saying it, you ain't been saying nothing. And so I think that was just very important that we both knew what our common goal was. That, are you here to date for marriage, or are you just here to figure out what's out here? Because if you're here to figure out what's out here, then you can go. But he was here to date for marriage, so he could stay. And but everything else, open communication was key with us, and always making sure that we kept each other in the loop on things, and keeping it fresh, honestly, like little surprises, little to-dos. Those are things that can very well go to the wayside. And then also having the hard conversations. Finances is hard when you first come together from two different worlds, because you have things that you want to keep away from each other. Like when you don't have like credit card situations or credit situations, or you might have been late on payments back in the day. But when you come together, that's one thing that you have to put on the forefront if you want to move anywhere further, because 3 years down the line and something pops up and it's like, oh, you don't know how to save? Well, wait, you got all this what?
What do you mean you can't get an apartment?
He's so frugal.
You're like, it's like I don't want nothing to be surprised. If I knew it up front, then we can help. But now we about to sign a lease, and they talk about I'm like, well. So yeah, it was just a lot of stuff that I think I've learned from my friends when they had gotten married, and just seeing their trials and things that I was able to take to hit in the forefront of it. I mean, I'm 31 now, so I had some years. I'm done.
All right. So for me, I think I'm gonna kind of look at it not from our relationship, but from where I was before the relationship. And
Where was you at?
I was lost in the
He was.
days. No, but for real, like a lot of times people tell you just like, oh, just wait, and it'll come to you. A lot of times, especially for guys, it's not really gonna come to you because of course you have to go after the female. You have to pursue the female. So you can't just sit back and wait and be like, oh, it's gonna come to me, because sometimes that doesn't happen. Of course, Shelle just all of a sudden just appeared.
I came to him.
List, but you know, still I had to still pursue her and ask her out and do things like that. So I wouldn't, like, my advice for people that's single, don't just sit back and wait on dates. If you want to shoot your shot at somebody, shoot your shot, because you never know where that shot may get you. You might end up with that person being the one. And even if they're not a one, just use it as a lesson learned. Don't take it as a negative thing. You break up with someone, it might have been a good thing while it was, but it doesn't mean it was meant for you. Just take it with a grain of salt. I think I also learned from my friends, like, because Paul was married, Shell's engaged, Mal had his son, Treese is engaged. All of them, like, I take from all of them and kind of put it into one bowl, and it kind of helps me. It was never a contest or anything. Like, Paul got married first, then Shelle got engaged, then Treese got engaged. It was never a contest for me because I'm happy for them. But I know I'm learning from each one of them of what I would like when I get to that chance, and when I get engaged, and when I'm ready for it, I will do it on my time. So I would suggest for anybody to do things on your time. Don't let anyone rush you. Don't let people tell you, oh yeah, you should go ahead and be married and have kids or get engaged, because if it's not for you right then, you don't rush into something, because then it can turn out to be bad.
Hey.
I know you have some questions, but I'm just curious. I'm glad you said that, because I feel like for women, it's a competition. Like when one get married or engaged, the damn ball will drop for everybody else.
Frozen. You're frozen.
You're frozen.
You okay?
Answer this question, women. Is it a competition?